Hello again. Welcome to today's edition of Daily Transformational Messages from Francis NMERIBE, Episode 3. Act when inspired. Delay is dangerous. That's our topic today. In the last episode, you must have returned the remembrance of the misadventure of my sales career, whereby I have unwittingly become part of an advance fee fraud syndicate. For several weeks, I traveled from Onitsha to Mgbidi twice a week, trying to get this fraudster, Aloysius, to either supply the 100 cartons of milk paid for by the trader or refund the money so that we can have peace, and all to no avail. It even took to the point where I had to travel to his village with the trader, only to meet his beleaguered wife and unclothed, dirty children and old mother who were shaking. I don't know if those ads were put up, but what we saw was such a sorry state and gives no hope to the chance of getting this man's money back. In the several trips, we met Aloysius only once. It seems as soon as he hears we are around, he will hide and say he's not around. He was able to frustrate us with delay in meeting us until it was evening, and the trader feared that his life might be in danger. And he stormed out of the office, promising hell and brimstone for me. I'm the fall guy here, you remember? I'm the one that is close to him, the one that need to return back to Onitsha with him every day. I wish I had a place in Mgbidi to stay while he goes, but I live in Onitsha. When we returned to Onitsha that day, he paraded me before several of his kinsmen as a man who took him to a fraud syndicate. Many of them counseled me and said that I am still a small boy and should not have been involved in a fraud. And each one of them repeated that if I do not get their brother's money back, they would call out Onitsha people on me, whereby I will be lynched and burnt alive with old vehicle tires on the streets of Onitsha. That was the fate that was waiting for me. I lived in this fear and foreboding for several days, imagining what it would be like with me being paraded on the streets of Onitsha as a thief and finally beaten to death and set on fire by the well-known irate Onitsha mob. The thought of it alone took away years from my life, and I lost sleep and the power and the will to continue to live. I contemplated suicide. The only reason I did not take my own life was that I was considering the stigma it would bring to my family. I have 4 sisters, and I wondered if they would ever get married as suicide is in a family. Because if suicide is in a family in my place, it is a terrible stigma. I started living in hiding. I would leave my house before it is daybreak to return back way late in the night. And all through this period, hiding in places I considered too remote for the trader to find me. I would sneak back into my house, and if many neighbors noticed me, they would report that a certain man came to look for me and waited for several hours before leaving. Their description always fitted the trader well. On one occasion, they reported that he had come in company of 3 other people, whom I suspect, and they too suspect to be police, and had left in anger after waiting for a long time. One day, I have felt inspired to go to Mgbidi to pitch a fight with Aloysius. He's quite a big and ferocious man, and I was just a slim guy. On my mind was that it would be better to die fighting for my name than to be paraded as a common criminal and ultimately lynched. As I got to Aloysius' office, I stormed through the reception without protocol. When I got to Aloysius' desk, I grabbed his desk and turned it over on him and banged and shouted that he should refund the trader's money or both of us would die here today. 3 visitors in the office with him heard me and asked what the matter is. Of course, I was in no mood to accept any pleading. I screamed more and more. One young man I passed in the reception came into the office and held my hand firmly and asked in some matter-of-fact but comforting voice what the matter is, and pleaded that I should calm down so we can talk about it. In those days, I was one fearful, easy to cry guy, and tears started running down my cheek. The young man gave me a little drag, and I followed him and left the office. When I stabilized and Aloysius uh, came to the office, he saw me and the young man that took me out of his office. And he acted as if there is nothing amiss and said, "Aha, Mr. Meribe, this is Mr. Oka. You know that man that went and brought only 35 cartons of milk? My former office manager, he's a fraudster, and I have sacked him. Mr. Oka is the new office manager. He came in to report for duty today, and I have a problem. I was supposed to get his accommodation ready, but I was too busy and could not fix that for him. Could you please take Mr. Oka to your home and come back with him tomorrow so we can sort his housing need and address and also your problem?" Abayagoka and I rode in his CD185 motorcycle, a Honda, to my house in Urbania, Onitsha that night. After meal and bath, Abai requested for details why I did what I did in the office earlier that day. When I told him my story, he vowed not to return to Mgbidi the next day. He did not want to be involved in a fraud syndicate. He returned to his home in Enugu the next day. The transformational point of this story is that it was at the worst point of my adversity that I met the man who changed my life for the best, Mr. Abai Ago Oka. When I finally came to Enugu on the run to escape from Onitsha, I reconnected with Abai. He taught me how to ride a bike, how to drive a vehicle, and midwifed my entry into the then Directorate of Internal Security, or the Nigerian Security Organization, which is today DSS, from where I trained and grew to become a security professional. But my instinct with government and industrial security gave me the best in my life the life that I have today. Think about where I met Mr. Agbayagoka and what he alone brought into my life at the point of death. Think about it when you struggle in your own life. Best of all, think about the inspiration to go to Mgbidi that day. What if I did not follow that inspiration? Where would I have met Mr. Agbayagoka, who ended up playing such a vital role in my life? So, my brother, my sister, even when it seems that the problem of life have swallowed you, follow your instinct, your inspiration, and take any outstretched hand or even leg, and you will be saved and put back on the success track. That's our message today. If you love this video, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so we will be able to continue to bring more. Till we meet again tomorrow morning, do have a great day. Thank you.